What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Mike Anderson, alongside with my co-host, DeAndre Cootie Hicks, and your guys are watching Bears News Network, the number one YouTube channel that give away free Bears trivia, quiz, question prizes, and the only YouTube channel, man, that come this season going to be giving out free pair of Chicago Bears tickets with a
Yes,
$25
sir. Yes,
gift
sir.
card. You can take somebody to the game with you and an opportunity to see me and your boy Cootie at the game. Chop it up with us and take a few pictures, and let's see our Bears get this dub. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. So also, we want to send another personal shout out to Maurice Watkins. He did win the
Oh yeah,
1985
congrats to
Chicago
him
Bears
again.
Walter Payton, yes, championship ring. Congratulations to him. He answered all of the questions right, man, and got it right. His picture with his prize will be underneath this video, and he will also share a picture of his prize underneath this video, man. It's a beautiful prize. Also, Cootie, we got one more left. We got
Oh
one
yeah.
more ring left for one of you lucky subscribers. When we hit you guys with the question, you got to be ready to answer the question correctly, but you have to be subscribed, man. Let everybody know about the channel, man. Tell your homeboys, your friends, everybody that's Bears fans, let them know about our channel, man. Everybody, we love all the channels out there, but we're the only YouTube channel that gives out free Bears trivia, question prizes, and also the only channel, man, that's going to give out a pair of tickets with a $25 gift card. You can't beat that, man. So let
Come
everybody
on, man.
know
Come
about it,
join the
man.
community.
Come join the community, man, because it's a good community, and most definitely like, comment, and subscribe. You have to subscribe to the page in order to win anything on here. You got to subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so in this episode, man, on Bears News Network, we just wanted to get in talk to you guys about a few things. If I could get my words out, Cody. All right. And basically, they was talking about Ryan Poles and what he wanted to do with the number one overall pick. There's been a lot of questions about that, and talking about how he decides and how he wants to go about it. And he was on Peter King's, and he did say that basically that he's willing to make that transition. He's willing to do that, but teams is basically going to have to give up a pretty big haul in order to do it. And this is basically what he said on Peter King's podcast. He said, "Should we do this before free agency, or should we wait? I don't know. That's what I've communicated to teams. I could carry this all the way until we're on the clock the night of the draft. But then there's teams that want some certainty because if I need a quarterback bad, should I do that now when some of these guys like Derek Carr are out there? To me, they've got to go so much more above to do it now. I'm not greedy with it, but you're going to have to go above and beyond to close the door now." So,
Okay.
Ryan Poe said it's a possibility that this pick can be traded before free agency starts, but it will come at a big, big price in order for that to be done. And when we look at the teams that are QB needy teams, we most definitely can look at the Colts. They are one of the aggressors out of the bunch. The Panthers also are heard to be an aggressor. You have the Texans. They also are interested in moving just to make sure they get who they actually want, moving from that number two to that number one spot, so no one else can grab who they really want. And then you have the Raiders. You have Seattle, who has two picks as well in the first round, just alongside, just like the Texans have. And then you have other teams like Titans, Las Vegas at the number 9 spot, Atlanta. All these teams
Yeah.
need a quarterback. It's a lot of them. Tampa Bay. The list goes on. So Ryan Post is willing to make this decision, but it's going to be at a big asking price. Cody, what you think about Ryan Post? Do you think he should trade it before free agency starts?
All right, so me personally, and I'm gonna just keep my same view about it. I do not think he should trade it before free agency, only because my way of looking at it was to with all the holes that we have on defense, offense. I was looking for us to plug those holes up by doing some free agent signings and stuff with a lot of these teams that don't need a lot in return, so we could just grab players from them, do the free agent market instead of trying to make those trades. That's what I was looking for, just to plug in a few pieces. And then I'm a guy. I'm really looking forward to us drafting a young offensive lineman that could really grow with Justice. So that's like my biggest target was for our drafting, is us to try to get at least one of these young O linemen that's a good prospect and have them grow with Justice. So that's why I really wanted to see the trade happen closer to the draft day. But it'll be what it is. If it happens before, it happens.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna go in the other direction since you said we're waiting. I'm gonna go with I would like to trade it before, but it all has to depend on, like Ryan Post said, it has to be a haul. And by that meaning is when you look at, like I said, the aggressive teams there with the Colts and with the Panthers are being the most aggressive teams, they do have talent on that roster that can help the Chicago Bears alongside with more picks as well. The Colts have Buckner and Shaquille Leonard. The Panthers have Brian Burns and DJ Moore. So they do have people, players on that team that, hey, Ryan Poles is going to say, hey, you want this number one pick and you want it this early. He said he's not trying to be, he ain't going to be greedy or nothing, but hey, he said you got to pay your credit card bills at some time. So, I mean, he's going to want players, and like he said, it's going to be a lot. So you can expect it to be a lot in return if he does make this trade before free agency start. And I feel like it would help him get a sense of in which direction he can go for as far as moving forward in the draft and going further on in free agency. Because if you go out and you make this trade before free agency and you able to get Brian Burns, from Carolina, and DJ Moore, or get DeForest Buckner, or from the Colts in the trade deal, then now that's a need that you necessarily don't have to tack or spend money on in free agency or really attack in the draft. Now you can focus on other things in the draft and in free agency. You get what I'm saying? Where you can spend more money where you thought, okay, well, I probably had to go out and spend this much money on a free agent or overspend in the market. You can get a quality, good player starter that's going to be a plug and play starter for you at that moment, that's going to produce for you and be on your team at that moment. So that's why I wouldn't mind trading the pick just a little bit before times do, man. So, but we want to know what you guys think. If you guys was Ryan Poles, would you guys trade the pick before free agency, or would you keep it? If you would trade the pick before free agency, type trade right underneath the video. If you would like to keep the pick, and wait until the NFL draft start, man, type keep right underneath this video. Let us know in the comment section. We want to hear from you guys. Okay, moving right along, man. Um, when we look at this team, um, there's been a lot of talk, and the biggest thing is, okay, getting Justin weapons and getting him protection, and getting a defense around him that's going to give away, get the ball back and create turnovers. And like Cootie,
Right.
you mentioned a good fact. I think on one of the episodes, a couple episodes back, that um we was the lowest sack team in the league. You know,
Oh
that's not
yeah,
Bears
yeah.
football. You get what I'm saying? That's not Bears football. We have to do better in that category of creating pressure on other quarterbacks. When we looked at some of the games this past season, there was a lot of opposite quarterbacks just sitting there playing with their nails, just sitting back there chilling, and they
Yeah,
didn't
no, I
have
had
no big
all day
play.
in the pocket.
Yeah, so when I just look at when I look at this this free agency class, and just a couple of options. Like I said, well, at left tackle, I feel like we pretty locked there. Braxton Jones, a young rising star in the league. At left guard, there are questions depending on what they're going to do with Cody Whitehair. He's possibly a cut candidate, just to free up some more cap
Okay.
space. And then Lucas Patrick, also, that's a big question mark, but too, because
Yeah.
Lucas Patrick wasn't able to stay healthy, and he's supposed to have been our starting center. So depending on you know, what they want to do with Lucas Patrick, I don't think he'll be cut. I still think he'll be back. But depending on what they how they move in free agency could determine if they do cut Cody Whitehair and let Lucas Patrick have a flex of either playing left guard or center, because he did play left guard before actually playing one, not even a full quarter of snaps at center, which he was supposed to be our starting center. Then we go into right guard. We know that we're locked there with Tevin Jenkins, young rising star. He's a mauler. The dude's a beast. We love us some Tevin Jenkins over here at Bears News Network. And then
Yeah.
right
Yes.
tackle is the question. That's the biggest question of them all. Is that right tackle, because we literally don't have nobody there, not even somebody that we could think of that's a good serviceable backup. We seen what Larry Borum
Right.
did, and he was just not it. So when I look at out there, man, I talked about him before on here, but I'm gonna just mention him again. I know everybody's, like I said, keep talking about Mike McGlinchey. I like me some Mike McGlinchey, but this dude right here, uh, he's most definitely a top free agent right tackle out there, and that's Caleb McGarry. He's a right tackle with the Atlanta Falcons. He's still 28 years old, so he's still young, and you know could build him, and he could be part of this offensive line for a long time to come. His overall is an 86.6. Check this out: his pass blocking is better than Mike McGlinchey's. His is a 66.9 pass blocking, McGarry's, and McGlinchey's is a 65.5. His run blocking is better than McGlinchey's. McGarry's is a 91.6, and McGlinchey's is a 73.3. And he's more discipline penalty wise than McGlinchey. McGlinchey had 10 penalties on the year, and McGarry had 5 penalties on the year. The sacks numbers were still the same at both six apiece, but when you look at Caleb
Yeah.
McGarry overall package, he's the number one option. Who, if I'm Ryan Poles, that's the number one option that I'm going to get to solidify at that right tackle spot. If I can't, then I would settle with Mike McGlinchey. Okay, quick another one. Ethan Pokett. We talked about him on one of our first episodes that we did when we was doing, a couple of free agencies options for the Bears. But Ethan Pokett, he's a 79 overall. He had 819 snaps. He had one penalty on the year, so he's a very disciplined player and only allowed 2 sacks. So Ethan Pokett is most definitely, he's disciplined. He's a great center. Well, not a great. Let me not throw that out there, but he's a good, serviceable center, and he's most definitely better than Sam Mustipher, and argue he's better than Lucas Patrick. So he will most definitely be first come in center starter and be a good serviceable starter for us. You know. Also, you got Connor McGovern from the New York Giants. He's 29 years old. Um, and also Ethan Pocus is 27 years old, so he's still young. Ethan Pocus is still young too, so he can develop and grow with Justin as well. And you got Connor McGovern. He's has a 69.6 overall rating on PFF. He's 29, still a little bit young, but he'll be pushing 30 real soon. He did play over 1,100 snaps. He had 1,111 snaps. He had allowed
Okay.
4 penalties, and then he only allowed 5 sacks allowed. And he plays the center position. So those are just two more options for us at center that we could possibly look out. But like I said, I would prefer Ethan Pokey. And then Ben Powers, man, Ben Powers from the Baltimore Ravens. He's a left guard. He played over 1,000 snaps. He had 1,094 snaps. He was tied with 15th. He only allowed one penalty, so he's a very good disciplined player. very good disciplined player, and that's what Matt Eberflus and Luke Gessie like to have is like sound, disciplined, physical, fast players. And then check this out: he allowed no sacks on the year as well. So Ben Powers
Mm.
is somebody to look out for, just in case we do decide to cut Cody Whitehair and we do decide to stick with Lucas Patrick at that center spot and don't go get a center. I can most definitely look to them signing Ben Powers or and Caleb McGarry to take over that left guard and right tackle spot. So those are my quick options, Cootie. Just had to get those out the way real quick. But out of any of those names that I said, man, I want to know who would you guys like to see at that right tackle spot? If it would be Caleb McGarry or Mike McGlinchey, type KM right underneath the video. If it's Mike McGlinchey, type M for Mike McGlinchey. Also, if you guys would like to see us bring back Lucas Patrick or go with somebody else, let us know right up under here if you would like to see us stick with Lucas Patrick or go out and sign that boy Ethan Pokic, like I said. And we also gonna get into in our next episode possible cut candidates that could be coming up, real soon. That'd be something that we get into. But Cody, let us know, man, on that defensive side, who you see a couple of free agents right there on that defensive side of that ball that we could possibly go out and get.
All right, all right. So with the free agency, man, ain't pretty much changed on the defensive side. Like we know, our number one target was Deron Payne. He got tagged, man. So that leaves us with going back down the list on somebody who we talked about, who's now probably our number one candidate at that tackle spot would be Javon Hargrave. So we discussed his numbers. I'm not gonna go into all of that, but we know he's a good premier player. He's on that Eagles team that just made a Super Bowl appearance, and he's probably hungry like the rest of the team is right now. So we can always use a player like that. But a guy who I've recently done came across his name on that free agency list, who I like, is Derek Nottie. He's a tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been with them doing both of their Super Bowl runs, so he definitely had those championship aspirations, and then that knowledge of being on a championship team. That's always good to have in a player. But he's just a solid guy. I think we could put in there on that line. His numbers weren't too crazy this season, but we know other guys like Chris Jones and Frank Clark who on that team who got a lot of more exposure, and they just played a little better than him this season. But he's always been a solid player for the Chiefs. He does get his sacks. He has about 4 or 5 on his career, and then he gets tackles. He's just a guy I think that we can put in there as a solid piece who can, with us rebuilding our defensive line, he'll get those opportunities to make more plays. He'll be able to increase his numbers as he kind of was doing steadily until guys like Chris Jones and Frank Clark were the headliners of that line. But so that's the one guy in free agency that's now standing out to me. Once I we went through the list again after they took the round pad. I tried to find more guys, and I saw him, and he stood out to me. But I have a new draft prospect that I'm looking at on the defensive side. So people might know of him. His name is Brian Breezy. He's a DT out of Clemson, and he got a decent little grade. A lot of guys who I've been watching, they got a grade around the sixes, like whether it be like 6.2 to 6.4. But really, all that means, that's how they see how they're gonna progress when they get into the NFL. And with his grade of a 6.35, they're saying that he will be a plus starter, so he will be a starter in the league, just not right out the bat. But a lot of other things about him that I like. This how he played, man. He has dang, I just had his
Motor
stats
on him.
up
He
there. But
got a motor on him.
I'm not even gonna get into his stats. I'll just give you some things that about him. He plays instinctive. He has a great build. He can withstand double teams and he can hit those gaps, man. So it's a lot of good things about him. Just in his style of play and how he is. That if we couldn't get a Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, I wouldn't mind drafting him later on in a round or in the second round, and he could still be a presence on the defensive line.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Man, those some good options, and I didn't even think about him. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research to check him out. But out of those options also that Cootie just mentioned to you guys, man, let us know which out of those options that you would like to see to join this defensive line. You know, Cootie gave you his options. Me personally, I like Hargrave. I would love to see Javon Hargrave be a Chicago Bear, but let us know. Comment the initials or the name right up underneath this video. We want to know from you guys. Also, this video is brought to you by Riverside. Riverside, anything you want to do as far as broadcasting with your best friends or friends and get into the entertainment business, you can use Riverside. Riverside is the best side and it gets the job done. So, that concludes our video for the day, man. Could anything you want to say to the people before we get up out of here, man?
Oh no, man! Just like you said, man. Let us know any free agents, any trade draft prospects, trade candidates, anybody that we're not talking about that y'all are seeing, who you say, oh no, he'll be a great Bear this upcoming season. Always let us know. Like we might look over players and just not think about them. And if you guys know some players that you see as a great fit for us, talk to us. We want to see, hear you guys' thoughts also.
Yes, yes, yes. And will be most definitely be more active in the chats with you guys. We're communicating and commenting more with you guys in the chats. Want to thank you guys for walking with us over here at Bears News Network. We want to say as always, bear down and
Bear
one love
down.
over here at Bears News Network.